Hello and welcome back to another video. In this episode I park exactly where I'm asked to, and I think we go racing, so let's get to it. So here we are, race 2 for LyddenHill. We went out in the last race and got a solid P4, I think it was, almost held on to P3, struggling a little bit with engine power, but it's all good because it's now a little bit wetter. We did qualifying pole position in the soaking wet. It was properly wet, and our championship rival of Nick Crispin is all the way back in 8th. He had the wrong tyres on basically in quali and couldn't extract the pace that a lot of the others could. We've got Andrew Bull, I think, right behind me in P4 or P3. He'll be looking to get a charge on and sort of gain some more points from the ones he lost at Pembrey. So he'll be one to watch out for. And Simon Turner actually put it on 2nd, so it's nice to see him a little bit further up the field. He's normally a strong sort of front side of the back of the top 10, but it's great to see him at the front, showing that him and his car can do it, and will definitely put up a fight against them as well. So it's looking to be an interesting race. It's a little bit drier than I wanted it to be. I was sort of hoping that it was going to be absolutely torrential, because I just felt that my engine deficit that I thought I had didn't really show up too much there. Obviously, the wet being the great equaliser, and I probably felt like I had the match on the others there. But the last time I was on pole, I was 7th or 8th, I think, by the first corner, so we're just got to try and make sure we don't do that. As you can see, trying to do some wheel spins out of the last corner, try and get some temperature into the tyres, because that's critical. But we line up on the front row to go for race 2. We were 36 points ahead of the championship going into this weekend. We lost 5 to Nick Crispin in the last race, but we also gained 5 by having pole position in this race. So back to 36 points ahead, and we've basically just got to stay there. So we'll wait for the rest of the grid to line up. It's the 5-minute board going up, which actually only really means 1 minute, maybe. There you go, lights out and away we go. So the 5 minutes didn't count for anything, and it's a terrible start. I've lost place to Bully, but there's Nick Crispin on the outside. Where has he come from? Because he started in P8 and he's already, and as I hit him coming around the last corner, just completely on the wrong part of the track, no grip at all, trying to get the power down as soon as possible to edge ahead of him, but he's come out of absolutely nowhere and round the outside to take P2 from 8th place on the grid, and he almost has a look down the inside of Andrew Bull there, as I get a big tag from behind, which has pushed me really deep, and I've lost even more time to the guys ahead. So P1 straight down to P3 by turn 3, and I think I might even get passed once again by some other drivers as we take the inside line, defending to the guys behind, and watch the I had a peanut stuck in my throat, but Simon Turner comes round. I'm still dying. Simon Turner makes his way around the outside of us into the hairpin on lap 1, and that's us down to P4. We've lost a lot of time to the leaders already, as Nick Crispin, after just 1 lap, makes it into 1st place from 8th on the grid, as I follow Simon Turner deep and off the road on lap 2, desperately trying to claw back some time, and just basically trusting the driver ahead isn't always the best way to go. I should just stick with what I know and what I know works. So I've now managed to clear Simon. He did go off, but I've managed to pass him, and it's now time to get my head down. I desperately know that I'm quicker than these guys ahead. I just need to get back onto the back of them and chase him down, and just hope that Nick Crispin doesn't get away too quickly, because it'll be a disaster if I should make it to 2nd and then Nick's 20 seconds down the road, which which wouldn't be fun. So currently losing 15 points to Nick, which would put me, I think, 19 points ahead in the championship, which is still a good gap, but it's not as much as we had before. So as we see, we're really pushing it, trying to get the throttle down as early as possible, and just really pushing the boundaries of the front end grip on these two CVs. Are we going to make the same mistake going into turn 1? I don't think so. A little bit more patient, a little bit more precise as we head up the hill again for lap 3. That gap to the guys ahead hasn't actually come down at all, so I'm starting to wonder whether my pace is still there or whether it's too dry. As you can see, it's a lot wetter down at Devil's Elbow, so maybe I'm just going to try and make it work down here as we start closing in on Andrew Bull. Went a little bit deep there, and he's lost touch with Nick Crispin, who, as I feared, is starting to pull away. So we've got to desperately catch up with Andrew Bull and get past him, and then start chasing Nick Crispin, because that gap's starting to get a little bit bigger as we go deep and then cut across. It's a bit of a dry line for the wet old boy. I should probably run it around the outside, white line it everywhere, and try and get all the pace you can from that grippy outside line. So we chuck it in, keeping it in third gear, clipping that inside, and just hoping that the front end grips up. It's time to really get my head down and chase Andrew Bull. So let's see if we catch up with him. So 5 laps later, and we have started closing in just that tiny bit, but it's not looking too good from my end at this point. The gap sort of stayed roughly the same between Bully and Nick. He has got away just a little bit more, but I'm starting to panic. So I think there was a moment in the race where I just sort of went, oh, I've just got to just go. I've stopped messing around, stop trying to keep the car on the track, and if there's any time to try and pull out a championship worthy drive, then it's now. So just go for it. At least try. There's no point just finishing the race and going, oh well, I kept it on the track. So I sort of just went, you know what, we'll brake as late as we can, we'll chuck it in a little bit harder than the last lap, and hope that we can start catching up with him. So that's what I did, and as you can see, just one lap. This must have been the trigger. I just caught right back onto Andrew Bull, and it looks like I made a couple of mistakes that lap as well, which probably helped him, because Nick Crispin is starting to edge away still, as I really push to the boundaries of grip on that corner, as we catch the back of Andrew Bull. But now we've just got to sort of find out where he's slower, find out where I'm quicker, and essentially make the move and pass him, get up into second and start chasing Nick Crispin, because I know my lap times are good. I've been looking at the lap delta on my screen in front of me, and I know that I'm putting some good laps in. So I've just got to get past Andrew Bull now, who's definitely going to put up a fierce fight as we head down the hill once again. I think about 6 or 7 minutes left of the race at this point. We're well past the midway. As we head around the final corner. This was really sketchy corner, because there's actually so much grip on the inside, which would be the dry line, and then suddenly there's no grip as you head up the brow and start losing that front end grip. Here as well, you sort of get to the midpoint of the track and get absolutely no traction for a good 5 to 10 meters, and then suddenly it grips up again. So you've just got to sort of put your foot down, take the wheel spin, and trust it's going to grip up once again, as Andrew Bull flicks a giant lump of mud into my screen, which looked a lot worse than it does on this screen, I can tell you. And I went to switch on my windscreen wipers, because I don't really like using windscreen wipers in the rain, because it normally makes things a bit worse for me. But I went to go and switch them on to get rid of this giant clump of mud, and absolutely nothing happened as I look up the inside of Andrew Bull, but he was definitely just going to drive into me there, so I had to completely back out of that. I thought I was going to get a nice sneaky move up the inside, but he definitely didn't see me there. He was taking a very wide line, so I may have been in his blind spot, but I think I probably should have just kept it in and took the damage. But yeah, all that time that I've just gained, I thought it's one of those, you've got the momentum, you've just caught them, make the move as soon as possible, because otherwise you sort of get stuck into a rhythm, and you get stuck into a sort of almost like a trap behind them, and then you end up not being able to pass at all. So that's one opportunity unfortunately gone, and a lot of time lost as well. And all I can see is Nick Crispin just driving away ahead of me, and 15 points going down the drain, really. So unfortunate, but we've still got plenty of time left in the race to catch as Andrew Bull goes very, very wide, and I sort of follow him a little bit. I was definitely quicker through Devil's Elbow and on a traction up the hill, so I was trying to use this to use that to my help, but no. Some weird lines going on into the hairpin as well. I seem to be keeping a very dry line as Andrew Bull starts sort of experimenting a little bit with the wider, grippier outside line. He's sort of in the midpoint here. As you can see, he's sort of four-wheel drifting up and over that brow onto the start straight again as we chase him down. Another lap after our failed overtake. Andrew definitely knows that we're there now, and he's really trying, as you can see, as he's pretty much drifts all the way up the hill there, and I try and keep it nice and controlled at the inside, but seem to have lost a bit of pace there. Maybe taking it a little easier than I should have. But here's the big gaining point: is Devil's Elbow. We were just so quick, under braking through the apex and then under traction up the hill. I just seem to have so much. I managed to get on the throttle a lot earlier, as you can see, as Andrew was still sort of washing out at the midpoint. So maybe that's a bit of front geometry not really going right, and Andrew defends the inside line, and I think I'll go deep and cut back. But what I should have done, and I only found this out a lot later, is to just go really deep into the corner and use right round the outside of the hairpin, which I think a lot of other drivers would have already done, and I think that's what Nick Crispin was doing also, because it was like seconds quicker round the top and round the outside, because it's a massive hill. All the water is draining down, and the tarmac here is really, really coarse, and so it was pretty much dry up there, and you could just throw it in deep and round the corner, and you get a lot more. But you see, Andrew Bull's really pushing the limits of the track here, especially at turn 1, just trying to keep as much momentum as he can as he exits turn 1 to come downhill towards Devil's Elbow, which we are a lot stronger as, just waiting for that biting point on the front wheels and getting the power down. Not as great as the last lap, but still a lot quicker than Andrew Bull, as he again goes defensive, comes across at last minute, and you can see I'm thinking about going really deep, but then I'm trying to cut it down the inside again as we get on the power and down the hill to try and catch him once again. Into the last corner on the brakes, and it's such a difficult corner, as you can see Andrew Bull getting really sideways as he heads up the hill, and I'm just seem a little bit hesitant to get on the power. But Nick Crispin already, he's passed those two back markers who are fighting amongst each other, and has gapped them by about 5 or 6 seconds already. So all I'm doing as I sit behind Andrew is getting more and more frustrated and losing more and more time, because I know that I'm quicker, but I just don't seem to be doing the right things. I'm slow in the wrong places, and I'm fast in the wrong places. So as Andrew tucks up the inside to pass these two back markers, and I think, brilliant, that's a quick engine in front. I'm going to push him up the hill, get up the inside of Andrew Bull, but no. Back marker hits the brakes, trying to let us pass, as he probably should have anyway, and I just ploughed into the back of him and lost my wing, and spend the next lap or two shouting at the back marker for doing exactly what he probably should have done. And again, lost some more time to Andrew Bull as I just chuck it down the inside of the Broadhurst car, and Andrew Bull again gets completely sideways going up the hill, and I've lost a lot of time once again. So for the third time I've got up to Andrew Bull and then lost all the time again. And that was unfortunately pretty much the story of the weekend, is that there was some pace there, but there wasn't quite enough. Not as much fun as I wanted to be. I was sort of looking forward to coming back to the place where I got my first win, and having a display of dominance as we did at Pembrey. I know a lot of Pembrey was a bit of luck, but this time round we just didn't quite have it. Andrew Bull put on a fabulous fight to defend in this race. Nick Crispin just flawless throughout the race here with a fantastic start, and obviously in race 1 we just weren't quick enough, so it's back to the drawing board. A loss of 15 points to Nick Crispin, and settling for P3, so that unfortunately is that. But we still have the 24-hour, which I'll do a short video on, and then 2 races at Alton Park. So thank you for sticking around, and thanks for watching.